Finally, back to the field again. All right, y'all ready for the greatest sound in all of agriculture? It gets me every time.
Ah yes, welcome to another day of cotton farming. Except we've decided to add a little flair to our farming today, and that is mud. Yeah, mud everywhere. So we've been out of the field since last Wednesday, and as you can tell, we've had some rain. Yeah, and apparently somebody drove through here this weekend. Love people. So Matt is probably making a huge freaking mess. Zach is on the buggy today. We got Roy back cutting stalks since the bush hog broke. And yeah, this is gonna be fun. Had to wear the boots today because everything is moist. Very moist.
Alright, it has been 4 cold, wet, miserable days since we left the cotton field. And really, we shouldn't be back in here again today. We really need to let it dry another day, but the calendar just flipped to November, and our crop ain't getting done any favors by sitting out here in the field. So it's just gotten to the time of year where you just make the best out of what you've been dealt. There ain't no waiting for a better time, because most likely this time of year you're not going to get a better time. Conditions usually continue to deteriorate from here on out, and we still got a lot of acres to cover, a lot of cotton to pick, a lot of wheat to plant, and still got a few acres of soybeans to cut. Right now we're sitting at about 117 out of our 460 acres picked, so we got quite a few days ahead of us here on the cotton picker. The rest of our cotton picking technically should go faster than what it did last year, because we're not having to dump near as much. But this cotton's not going to start standing straight up and make it where we can go full speed though, so it's still going to be kind of slow going. Over this rainy period, I did do some work to my road track, the auto steer on this cotton picker. So let's give it a calibration and see if it'll actually work. Now, we got to do a self-learn calibration on it. All right, we're about to listen to this buzzing for 45 seconds while I drive straight on the road. And what that does is that calibrates the front probe and the rear wheels to let it know where the center is. Alright, that means it's done. Let's get right up here where the stalks are standing halfway straight and try it out. Make sure it doesn't veer sharply off course. Oh, look at there. It's going straight. Hallelujah. I fixed it. It's still not the best system, definitely not compared to the row track on my corn head. But as long as the cotton is straight and standing up, it does work pretty decent. So maybe that'll help out my old back some whenever we get into some, decently standing cotton anyway. All right, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but we've picked one round over here, and you can see a pretty distinct difference, or at least I can, from where we stopped picking before. And it's a little bit wider, leaving us a little bit more cotton out there. It looks a lot worse than it actually is, but it is leaving a little bit more cotton on the stalk than whenever we stopped Wednesday night. And that's because the rain kind of caused the cotton to kind of shrink up in the hull. And we've only had one day of sun and really not much wind to speak of to kind of fluff that cotton back out. So the picker's not going to do quite as good of a job as it was before. It's just going to take some sun and wind to do it. And that's kind of what I was referring to the cotton not quite being ready to pick. Even if the cotton's dry, it's not really fluffed back out. But like I said, we're at that time of year, we just can't afford to wait, because we don't know how quickly the next weather system is going to come in. And we got to the point of the year that things just don't dry up very much at all, and they certainly don't dry up quickly. So we were in mid-October, I'd probably wait another half a day or a day just to let the cotton fluff back out a little bit. But being November 1st, it could come back to bite us. That could be the difference in us getting done before another storm system comes in or not. Well, I think we finally got through the worst cotton on this farm. I think from here on out on this farm, the cotton's going to be better. Still not going to be world beaters by any means. And this farm right here is definitely the worst cotton I have picked in 14 years, ever since the drought of 2007. But the sad thing is, just looking at it, it doesn't look like the worst. I've picked cotton that's looked far worse than this. But the fact of the matter is, the pounds just my yield monitor is showing right at 500 pounds an acre. I think it's definitely reading low, probably about 100. I'm guessing this is averaging about 600 pounds an acre so far. By the time we get done this farm, maybe that averages up to 650. That rain did give the gin a chance to gin some of my cotton I've already picked. And I talked in our first video about the turnout and how it can make a pretty big difference in yield. And I have my monitor set on 37% turnout. Come to find out that first farm that I picked, that variety actually came in at 40% turnout. So the yield was definitely higher than what the yield monitor was showing. But we still got a trailer out that the kids are playing in, and so all the cotton hadn't been ginned off that farm, so I don't know exactly what it yielded, but I think it's somewhere around 850 to 900 pounds per acre is what it wound up doing. So as far as my bad cotton this year goes, I knew that this farm right here was definitely going to be one of my worst farms, if not the worst. And I got one more farm behind my in-laws' house that I know for sure is not going to be good cotton. I just knew from the get-go those were going to be probably most likely my two poorest farms. So we just about got one of those farms out of the way. Got another farm to go, and then hopefully after that the rest of it will be respectable anyway. Won't be great, might not even be good, really good, but hopefully it'll at least be respectable. We actually kind of got semi-lucky on that rain event that came through a few days ago. Like I said, we got rain 3 out of those 4 days. But we didn't get really a whole lot of total rain. I think total we got maybe a half an inch, but it was that light drizzly rain for a solid 2 days out of all that, and every bit of it just soaked in and got the fields and everything nasty. And really, the ground's still a little wetter than what I would like it for. We're not doing a bad job of tracking it up though, except maybe in a couple small spots. That's the benefit of no-till and cover crop though. You can get back in the field a lot sooner after a rain event. And it's definitely paying off now, because if this had been conventionally tilled ground, we'd probably be rutting the heck out of it. Oh shoot! Freaking fantastic. Just what we needed. Blown hydraulic line. Now the question is, where's it blown at? Ooh, this stuff's hot. Well, definitely not what we wanted, but this could have been a lot worse, because when I jumped down off that ladder and seen what I thought was smoke boiling out, I thought we had a major fire, but instead it was just hydraulic oil getting sprayed out. So luckily no fire this year yet anyway, but we got some oil soaked belts here. Start the picker up to where I can see where the oil's coming from. Hopefully I don't get doused with oil here. Oh! Woo! What a good little spray. At least it's a really, really short hose. Yeah, I'd say that one's seen better days.
I'm guessing we're shut down because Zach is leaving, and Matt apparently blew a hydraulic line, so I guess I am gonna go pull that around to there so that I can get the tarps that are in that truck onto mine. Yep.
God bless, I freaking hate hydraulic oil. It's so nasty. On the plus side, we caught it right when it happened. If it hadn't been spraying on those belts though, might have run a little till it drained the dang tank or caught something on fire. And luckily it's a really short hose, so easy to replace. Won't cost a whole lot, but on downtime in the middle of the day, which is what we got, and also got a mess there we're going to get cleaned up. Anyway, check back in soon we get rolling again. All right, we got the hose replaced. We got everything washed off with soap and water. I just hope that those belts are not too awful oily and don't do any slipping. Let's see if we can get our fan up to speed now. I know, shut up. I want to get over 2,600 RPM. They're getting closer to get it back to full speed. Alright, finally got our fan speeds up, so I guess got the belt dried up and the oil wore off of it, so let's see what else we can tear up next. Roy's done about caught up with me.
Well, 2.5 hours later, he's back running again. And we've only done one module, so let's hope we can get 2 or 3 done by the end of the night.
Well, first bass it picked since the line burst, and everything's working fine so far, it seems. Finally got the fan up to speed, and it's holding speed, so. Lost about an hour and a half to go get the hose made, get everything cleaned up, so try and make up some time now. We're not supposed to have any rain moving in today. But that sure don't look too promising over there. Might make for a pretty sunset, but right now I don't want to see a single daggum cloud in the sky. It finally seems like we're running on along pretty smoothly. The yields on this half of the farm are significantly better than the other side of the farm. We got a lot better stand over here for whatever reason, but you know, it's raised my average about 30 pounds an acre. Still not great by any means, but at least it's going up and not going down. Could be worse. Well, Kelly just sent me a text. Apparently that is rain that's on its way, and then she voiced her strong opinion about Mother Nature. You can always count on Kelly to keep it real. So we don't like very much on this farm. 5-6 acres. I'm gonna try and get it. At least try and get this done. I don't know where the heck this rain come from. It wasn't supposed to be here. There wasn't supposed to be any chance of rain until like Wednesday night, I think. Wednesday night into Thursday. I mean, there was like 0 chance of rain. So where the heck did this come from? I mean, we've been out 4 days. We got a good half of a day in the day, and now if it's get rained out again, good Lord, that's what I was scared of with this cotton crop all freaking summer long, was that it was going to be so late, going to be pushed back into November, and then we get a situation like this where we just can't stay in the field long enough because of weather to get our crop out, and then because of that, our wheat's going to be delayed. Heck, our wheat might not even be planted at this point. I mean, if this weather keeps on up, you know, fighting mud and cold temperatures, I've done that before. We might not have any more wheat planted. And I've got I think 15,000 bushels of wheat contracted for next year, so I got to get some more planted. Gee whiz. You know, I love my job, I love my career, but it's times like these that just makes me wonder, is it even worth it sometimes? Days like this, I kind of wish I just had an 8 to 5 job. I wasn't the boss, and you know, I put in my 8 hours a day, go home, leave everything at the office or the job, enjoy my family, and not have to even worry or think about work until I showed up again the next morning. You can see it right there, the outside edges, it don't look promising. I was hoping it's just cloud cover, but apparently there's some rain up in there somewhere, and it's knocking on our doorstep.
So we finally get rolling, and then I see off in the distance what looks like rain. I think that's rain. Look at this. This is ridiculous. It goes to the west of it. A future cast says that we're supposed to get rain late. It's supposed to start raining around 9:30. Gotta love it! Ah!
Well, worst farm of the year, number 1, is officially done. 86 acres of my poorest cotton has been picked. Got one more bad farm for sure that I know of, 48 acres. But before we get to that, we got about 72 acres right here across the road to pick. A good part of it, I told my cotton scout I thought was going to be my best cotton this year, so we'll find out here in a minute. But first, I want to check radar and see exactly where the rain is, because last thing I'll do is start on another farm and a new module, and the rain come moving in real quickly. All right, it's there, but it's looks like the majority of it is heading north of us. Let's see, it's 7:30 now. I think we can get one module picked, hopefully before the rain gets here. In reality though, I really only need 2 big dumps to be able to pull off the module, and that won't take us that long. So give you a quick look at this farm right here. This farm that part of right there was by far the worst, where I had just, absolutely terrible stand and should have not even kept it in farm. But this right here, this side's what I've been picking on all day, and you can see it's quite a bit better. You know, raised my average up to 534, which I think my yield monitor's reading probably about 100 pounds low, so about 625, 650 pounds per acre for this farm. Not good, but the right hand side of the farm pulled it up a good bit. Wasn't bad cotton there. Alright, I just checked radar. Looks like the majority of the rain is moving north of us right now, so I want to move across the road here to Renfro, see if we can get a module picked before we call it quits for the day. Yeah, just record it for me, but when I let the tramper all the way down, it's going to have pressure on it, even if it's not packing any cotton, and I'll be able to see it then.
True. But I've been watching it, it's just getting worse and worse and worse, so.
Yeah, we don't need to start another module, because if any oil gets in those samples in class, it'll ruin all the bales in that module.
that's the problem though. I've still got to do a half a basket, and hope to God it doesn't leak too bad.
Well, I mean, we can't do anything about the module that's already on. You got to finish it off and pull off, but we don't need to start another one.
Right. Okay.
All right, I'll pick this basket and come over there. Well, Mama always said there'd be days like this, and it has most definitely been one of those days. Now, in addition to being down for an hour and a half, 2 hours with a busted hydraulic line on the picker here, and potentially rain moving in, now we got a hydraulic leak on the module builder on the tramper. And the way Kelly describes it, it's a small steady stream whenever she packs the cotton, and that could really be bad, because after the cotton is ginned, samples of each bale are sent off to the classing office to determine the fiber qualities, and if they find any kind of contamination of oil in the cotton sample, I mean, it could potentially ruin the whole bale. So, change of plans. We're not going to start another module. I will pick this basket, we'll put in the bowl buggy and take it into the shop, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that hydraulic fitting. Not been a good day so far. The part of it that really chaps me though is we come off 4 days of downtime, rainy weather, plenty of time to fix stuff, and then to have multiple breakdowns on the first day back in the field is really, really aggravating. All right, it's about, I think it's close to midnight. I finally got the problem solved with this tractor while the lights wasn't working. This wiring harness right here goes up the hood of the front lights. We got two plugs right here, and the pins in here were really too small to be carrying the kind of current